What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? The real MVPs here, baby. Today, we're going to talk about wind. Fishing the wind is all about angles. It's all about angles, baby. Fishing the wind is all about angles. Certain baits can be determined by the wind. The wind is all about angles. Certain baits can be determined by the wind. For instance, if you're fishing a buzzbait and it's calm, now it picks up, the wind picks up. Now you might want to start throwing a walking bait or something moving or something even subsurface. But a buzzbait on a calm day and it's hitting is good. It's good, but then when the wind picks up, you can't see it as well. So you might have to change baits determining on the wind. If the fish are biting when it's windy, it can be determined by lots of things. Pressure, location, wind direction, weather, temperature. These are all things that can determine why the fish are not biting on a windy day. If you're fishing with the wind, you got to keep your rod tip low. It's point blank, period, simple. You got to keep your rod tip low. If you're fishing against the wind, my recommendation would be to use side cast. You have to keep your rod tip low. Side cast, not an overhand cast. You wanna do a little side cast if you're fishing against the wind. And if you're fishing with the wind, always keep your rod tip low. Those are my tips for the wind when you are fishing in the wind. You have to determine what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with fishing in the wind, then do not fish in the wind. If you're comfortable with fishing in the wind, then go fish in the wind. But you have to determine what you're comfortable with. Do not go out there and get yourself in a bundle just because you hear tips on YouTube or you hear somebody talking about this or that. Be safe. Do not go out in the craziest conditions just to go catch a fish. You know what I'm saying? Fish what you're comfortable with. Fish windy banks. You have to fish the windy banks. A lot of times, wind can have a right and a wrong direction. So the other day for a few days, I was fishing and the wind was not pushing my way. So what do you have to do? You have to go to the wind. You have to go to the wind. Fish the cover. You have to fish the cover. Wind beaten banks. Fish the cover. If you're not fishing the cover, what are we doing? Come on, dog. Fish the cover. You know you have to. If you know you're switching locations and you know you're fishing a wind beaten bank and you see anything, docks, grass, wood, rocks, logs, anything, fish it. Fish it. Fish the cover on a wind beaten bank. For spinner baits, there is a wrong way to do it. You can be using the wrong blades and you can be using the wrong color. You have to play with both of those. In the wind, you have to play with both of those. What is a wrong day? Cold front, weather changing conditions, cold nights. All these things can change the way fish act. So if it's windy and fish aren't biting, these things can affect fish. Cold fronts, cold nights, you know what I'm saying, like that. And also weather changes. Okay, my advice for a spinnerbait. Change the color. You have to change the color. If you're not getting bit on a spinnerbait, play with the colors before you change anything. Then, if you're not getting bit while you're changing the colors, you have to change the blades. If you're not getting bit changing the colors, change the blades. Meaning, if you're throwing a willow spinnerbait, a double willow spinnerbait, you have to go to a Colorado. You have to. You want a bigger vibration in the water, so you have to change it up. You have to do something different. Give those fish something different, and it might just give you 1 or 2 more bites. After you change the blades, after you change the colors, if nothing else works, go to something else. You got so many different options when the wind is blowing. Now, if the wind is in the wrong direction, go finesse. That is my best advice. If the wind is in the wrong direction, you know. Now, you fished this spot a few times. You have learned the wind. You know what the wind is supposed to be doing. It's pushing that way now. Not good. Start throwing finesse. You have to throw something finesse. That's the only way I can put it. You have to go finesse. Cover and finesse. You have to start hitting cover and you have to start throwing finesse. Always be playing with the angles in the wind. So, if you're fishing this way and you catch or you even have a hit, always be playing with the angles that you're casting in wind. So if you have a piece of cover that you're fishing, always fish it differently. Always go around it. Move and change your angles of your cast. Figure out what the fish want. The fish will tell you. But always be playing with the angles of your cast. You have to change angles on cover. Always. Always, always, always. Do not just fish a piece of cover one way. You have to fish it multiple ways. You may have to slow down. You may have to slow down. Play with the speeds. Always be speeding up your retrieve. Always be slowing down your retrieve. Always, always, always be playing with your retrieve. Always. Speed it up, slow it down. Figure out what the fish tell you.